Welcome back to Sky and Thread. I'm Kelly. I haven't done a video. Ooh, I'm gonna be shaking the camera a little bit. I haven't done a video like this in a while. We just had a hurricane like blow through my state, and I'm still reorganizing my whole tarot room. I took everything down just in case things got really, really bad. And we got really, really lucky in Tampa. I know some of my other Floridian kindred are not doing so great, so sending them all the good vibes we can and all the help we can. I'll probably link some relief fund links in this video description if you guys can help any of the people suffering from the hurricane in Florida. It would be a big deal for us, so anything you can do is helpful. Thank you. But back to what this video is about. I'm just going to go through my favorite tarot decks for the spooky season. I know this is like our time of year that we get all excited. It's not just me. So yeah, I wanted to just kind of talk about all of our favorite spooky decks, some of the new additions I have this year. I keep shaking this desk. I'm so sorry, guys. This isn't my usual setup. So yeah, I'm excited to just talk about what's coming in and what's old favorites that we still have. But yeah, so I just showed you guys some footage of kind of the state of my table. There's a lot here. There's a lot here. Yeah, I got some new decks this year that I'm excited to break out. And I don't know if you guys have seen the Macabre Tarot by Samantha West. I love this box. Like, you can't tell me that's just not super entertaining. Usually I'm not a fan of like hugely minimalist decks, but this one just has a lot of cool artwork. See if I can make sure it's not glaring for you guys. So it's like I can make an exception for this time of year. Some of my decks are in order, some of them aren't, so I apologize if some of these I've been using. But I haven't gotten a chance to work with this one too much. I am really excited to break it out this month and do some readings with it, just because the aesthetic is pretty awesome. It's funny because like last year I think I saw people doing flip throughs of this and I wasn't as excited, and this year I'm super excited for it. So you know, it's funny how your taste changes over time. The only thing I think I'm not crazy about is how it goes from black to white. Kind of, you know, it would be different, I think, if it like majors are one, minors or something, you know, minors are white or something and majors were black, but the back and forth kind of feels like that might hold me up a little bit in readings, because I think it might be a little distracting, but I'll get used to it. So yeah, I'm gonna get some minors in there for you guys to see how they go. You know, they're pip-ish. Pips with what feeling, they say. So yeah, it's cute. I have a lot of decks, so I'll probably be going through them quickly. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes. The backs are really, really cute. I love the backs. So probably half of the reason I got these was for the backs. And then it's got that gold gilding on the edges. It is that kind that's kind of hard and might hurt your hands a little bit when you shuffle. I don't know if my hands have just gotten used to it over the years now, that it doesn't hurt me like it used to. It used to be a big put off for me, and nowadays I'm just kind of like, my hands are ruined anyway, so go for it. Go for it. One more time. One more time. It's really just, I just closed it. It's really just the small things in life. Even if I just get a kick out of opening this box every time I use this deck, that'll be enough for me. And I like the packaging. It's got like a plastic, the tray in it is, I set it off again. The tray is plastic instead of paper. So when you set your cards in, they stay, thank goodness, because some of these you'll probably hear me complaining that I hate paper trays. And the book is nice. It's got a full color book. Keywords. You know, I think it's a newbie, not newbie approved, but you know what I mean? Like, I think if this is your first deck, it's fine. Obviously, you're going to miss out on some of like the symbolism from more well-known, more circulated decks, like the Rider-Waite-Smith and the Thoth, but there's enough in here to definitely go off of and have a good time. And this time of year, I'm just here to have a good time. Just here to drink tea and vibe, you know? So let me see where I'm going to stack these bad boys once I'm done with them, because I hadn't thought that out first. Okay, just put that down there. Let's stick with new decks to me. They're not new, they're just new to me. Oh, well, I might have one like new. Yeah, one of them is actually like newish, but the rest are all just new to me. So then we have Darkwood by Sasha Graham and Abigail Larson. I kind of stayed away from this one too because of the hype. I saw so many people just extra hyped about this, and when I saw the cards, I wasn't sure. And like I said, this year, I feel like last year I was a big stickler on like, I need my symbolism. I need things to be a certain way. And this year I'm like, I don't care. I don't know what happened this year, but this year I'm just like, I don't care. It's got the big, it's a Llewellyn, right? Yes. It's got the big Llewellyn kit book in it. So, you know, you'll have your full color pages, nice in-depth write-ups. I mean, the artwork it's well designed. It has the paper tray, my arch nemesis, because it does have a ribbon to help, but I hate paper trays. When Llewellyn wants to get rid of those, I'd rather just not be a tray at all. Honestly, just I don't care. Just paper trays annoy me. So I'm not crazy about the backs. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. They're just simple. They are reversible, so that's nice. But I do think the artwork is beautiful. This year I am feeling the artwork more than I had in the past. Yeah, maybe last year I just had other decks that I was more excited about. This year I feel like there's not a lot of new decks coming out this year that I'm super excited about. A lot of the niche or what you call them, kind of like TV show pop culture decks that are coming out, the place that's putting them out to me, I'm not a fan. I can't remember what the name of the company is. I'll put the name in the screen for you guys, but they did like the Disney Villains deck, the Labyrinth deck. They did the Nightmare Before Christmas. I bought the Nightmare Before Christmas and I ended up selling it because I was just very unimpressed by like the level of some cards being great and some cards that was just the minimalist effort. And that was the same artist. That was an Abigail Larson drawn deck. So I think that might have been why I had a bad taste in my mouth about this one at first, because I kind of wasn't sure how I felt about that artist after that. But this deck feels much more consistent with the amount of effort put into all the cards. So definitely much happier with this purchase. Much happier. So yeah, Darkwood. I'm liking it. I've used it a couple times. I need to work with it some more again. This is new. I got this maybe a month or two, maybe 3 months ago. But I'm telling you, my life the last 3 months has been just insane. So much going on. So it's like I have no free time for anything. So unless I get orders on my Etsy shop for readings and what I do on the YouTube channel, I almost haven't had any free time just to work and practice with decks like I used to. Which is a shame because I recently got a whole bunch of decks as a gift and I really want to use them more. So another one is Murder of Crows. This deck is going to replace this deck in my collection. I just have vibed with this one so much more. This deck I got because everyone ranted and raved about how great it is. And it's beautiful. The artwork is really, really nice. But for some reason, I don't connect to it. It's just there for me. It doesn't get me excited to use it. It doesn't really, I don't know. I'm just not pulled to it. I tried it. It had its time. It's time. I'm going to be moving it on soon. I'll probably be doing like a culling video next month. But for now, let's talk about the Murder of Crows. It's darker. It's definitely more, I don't want to say gothic, but edgy. It's a Lo Scarabeo deck. And all of these, the quality of the cards has been really nice. They're not too flimsy. I don't know who the press company is for that Macabre Tarot. Rockpool. So we have Rockpool, Llewellyn, and now Lo Scarabeo. They're all pretty consistent. I know some people are more into their cardstock than others, but I just care that when I shuffle it, when I riffle shuffle it, it's not going to start shredding like paper. As long as it doesn't do that, I'm a happy girl. So yeah, it comes with a little book. I will say Lo Scarabeo books always are disappointing for me because they have multiple languages, so they keep the the information very, very concise, very to the point. So I almost don't ever recommend their books for beginners, but you can. I mean, I feel like you need, oh God, what's the word? You need other books to kind of help explain a broader explanation of the concepts of tarot to me than the Lo Scarabeo books for a beginner. But otherwise, yeah. My hair. I wore my hair down. That was a mistake. Now it's everywhere. And yeah, the cards are there's a very, just black and white comic book. It really reminds me of kind of like the J.O. Barr, the Crow comics, kind of Sandman, Neil Gaiman, like those kind of old 90s gothic, edgy, dark comic books. That may be why this one calls to me so much, is like it's an art style I'm more into. Let me skip around a little bit. Oops, wrong way. But yeah, it's an art style. It just calls to me more. I love this kind of old. It's not old. It was just more popular in the 90s. You know. It's like, it's still a current and popular style. It hasn't, gone anywhere. I just, I'm a 90s kid. So what do you want from me? What do you want? But yeah, this just speaks to me so much more. If you were like a Dark Horse comics kid, what's the imprint? Oh God. Image Comics. There we go. You can tell it's been a few years. I still do buy some comics, but not like I used to. But yeah, look, I love the darkness of this. Might be a little intense for other people, and I totally respect that. Not everyone's kind of into this, but this is my new Crow-centric deck. This is it for me. This is it for me. I love it. And again, I didn't think I was going to be excited for this deck until one of my best friends who used to be my roommate got it, and I got to like see it in person. And some of these decks really do make a difference when you see them in your hands versus it's just a walkthrough on the internet. I don't know how to explain it, but it does. For me, it does. Probably half of the stack, if I didn't see it in person, I wouldn't have got it, just based on a few cards in a flip through. And then there's sometimes I watch a flip through and I've seen the cards before and I wasn't excited, and then the person that's doing the flip through is so excited about the cards that I'm just like, okay, well, I have to give it a second chance now. So I don't know. I'm affected by the energies around me all the time. Let's see. Okay, so something else that's new to me. I'm gonna wait for that one. Obviously not new, but this is a Tarot Nuit. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'm bad with French. But Tarot de la Nuit. I'm a Spanish speaker. I don't know. It's like, I apologize. It's not natural for me, but I feel like this kind of art style, it's very digital art style. It's very body beautiful, as people say. Like you're not going to get a lot of variety, diversity in this deck. Unfortunately, I don't know. It reminds me of, again, this is by Alexandra Bach and Carol Ann Eshnazi. I think that's how you pronounce it. I was going to say, I was looking because I also have the Tarot V, and this reminds me a lot of the Tarot V in the digital style and like the scenes of like the people standing in front of like a beautiful sunset, the lighting. I'll probably do Tarot V next, even though Tarot V isn't new, but I feel like these two decks kind of complement each other in a way. It's just highly detailed, really gorgeous. Again, it has an old, even though the digital artwork makes it feel very current and very modern, it has an older aesthetic again. It reminds me of the, I don't even know how to explain it, because it reminds me of like the same vibes as Tarot V, where it's like Bram Stoker's Dracula, that Leonardo DiCaprio Romeo and Juliet movie. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe just these decks hit a certain nostalgia thing for me. Maybe, Evanescence music videos. It's like either that or like that's where these artists are pulling a lot of their influence from, or that's just what I'm projecting onto it because that's what it reminds me of. Let me see. Let me flip some more. But especially like early MySpace days, a lot of like the art you would find on like old Deviant art stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's just, is it just me? I don't know. Am I just getting old? Please tell me, anybody else who uses this deck, do you see it or am I projecting? Like the Crow movie from the 90s. There's just like the color palette, I guess, that those movies used to use. The fashion. I don't know. But there's just something about this deck that this time of year, I'm looking for this kind of, the vibes. So, and I don't see a lot of people talk about it, and I guess it's not everyone's style. I don't think a lot of people really like that highly digital artwork, but I do. I'm an internet kid though, so 90s internet kid. Maybe it's a very specific niche that speaks to me, But yeah, Tarot de la Nuit. There's an Oracle, I believe, that matches this deck. I don't have it, but I'll probably get it eventually. So, yeah, like I said, I want to talk about the Tarot V. It's not in the new to me category. I think I had this in my video last year. It was either in a video I made and then I scrapped, or it's in my like 13 Halloween video from last year. But This has the same digital vibes. I know a lot of people like the tarot. I think it's the Zombie Tarot, Tarot Z or something that this company or these creators have also done. This is Alejandro Colucci, I believe, as the artist for this. Again, it's another Lo Scarabeo, simple book. Here's the backs of the cards. You know, it's vampire, so there's an upside down bloody cross. But yeah, something about like the lighting, the backgrounds reminds me of the other deck. But both of these are, whoop, I just threw that one across the room. Hold on. I'm a mess. All right, so, you know, we got our Vlad. I've been playing too much Sims and we're always like, Vladdy Daddy. So these definitely have a lot of movie recognizable, like, homages. It's not the same, but like, you know, a lot of this reminds me of like Underworld, the movie series, if you've seen those. There's definitely some Interview with a Vampire. Yes, Underworld, like tell me. You know, there's, yeah, like obviously Bram Stoker's Dracula. This one I might flip through because there's like, oh my goodness, what's the guy? Oh no. He was like the 1950s famous vampire. Oh no, my brain today. I'm bad with names anyway. Oh no. And I'm recording on my phone, so I obviously can't use that too. Anyway, when I remember his name when I'm editing, I will put it there, especially if I see his card. But yeah, these are just like very movie-esque, film-esque vampires. This guy, if you watch old vampire movies, you know who I'm talking about. Lugosi? Oh, what's the first name? But you know who I'm talking about, right? My brain can't remember it. It's hurting me. I hate that I can't think of it. Oh, and then here we go. Here's my Interview with a Vampire card. So yeah, they have a lot of really good throwbacks to vampire movies in here. And then they have some just like straight up spooky ooky vampire cards. So yeah, if you like vampires, you need the vampire, the Tarot V. Again, I think a lot of people like, there's a few other vampire tarot that are not digital artworks, but I love this one and I have a lot of fun with it. Lugosi, oh my god, why can't I think of the name? Absolutely. Like, I hate that. I go to record and every thought leaves my brain. Why? Bella Lugosi. Bella Lugosi. I think that's right. If I'm wrong, I'll be so upset now. You know what I mean? I made a big deal for nothing. Just a big deal for nothing. Anyway, let's see. Okay, so after something spooky ooky, let's go to something that's more seasonal, more autumnal, and that is a Touchstone Tarot, which is also new to me. And I guess because it's like the browns and the coloration and kind of like to mix it up, it's not just all dark, spooky things. And it's by Cat Black. Just want something that's, you know, some variety for the season. So I wanted to throw this in here. And the book is good. It's not full color, but it still has a lot of good information in there. I think they did a good job. It's the backs. It also has that gold metallic gilding. And yeah, this is just, I believe it's been like artwork that's been slightly modified to fit the tarot. And I think it's beautiful and also good for the season if you're not into just scary, you know, spoopy style stuff. You want something more seasonal, earthy. Feels to me very apt for October, November, you know, just if you want something for the fall. It's got a little more, not class, because I'm a Halloween girl, so I'm like, how dare you? But, you know, something a little more for a refined palette, I guess. But again, I think it's beautiful. It's fun. It's got a lot of classic imagery for you to use. I have a couple like that I feel like have some throwback, like classical or classic art. I never know which word to use, if it's classic or classical art, because I always think classical music, you know? I don't know. I never claim to be an expert. So yeah, I just think this is beautiful. It's a big chunky deck. It's like Oracle sized. So if you have trouble riffle shuffling cards, this might be a little bit of a handful for you. But, you know, because I have what they call piano hands. And, you know, you can see that it takes up my whole hand, and I have probably larger than average hands for a woman. So, but yeah, I wanted to throw, not every day in Halloween needs to be spooky, but most of them. All right, let's see, what's more new to me? Oh yeah, I didn't have this one last year, and everybody else does. It's the Marigold Tarot, a classic. Yeah, I feel like some skeletons in a limited palette. I think my book is in my cabinet for this one, but I don't remember its book being too in depth. But it is an absolutely just beautiful deck. It's got that kind of matte gold, which I don't know if I was kind of disappointed when I got it that it was like a matte gold. But the cards are that like almost linen finish, so they are a joy to shuffle. Just wonderful. It's very much a pip deck, in my opinion. Not straight up a pip deck. It kind of reminds me of pips in the way that like Pagan Otherworlds is a pip deck. Like the minors feel simplified, but they do have more than just a classic Marseille style pip. So it's very nice. I'm a huge fan. That Lovers, I think they have it in like a lot of t-shirts and tapestry, or at least they used to. I feel like I used to see it in a lot of places because it's gorgeous. I'm trying to keep the glare out of here. Yeah, it's a super fun deck, and I think it has just that like occulty, gosh, that feels like wrong. Has that occult feeling to it. So I do think it's good all year long. Yeah, but I think it really shines in the Halloween season when everyone loves a spooky, scary skeleton. So, yeah. Highly recommend the cards. Again, they're a little thinner than some of the other like Llewellyn and Lo Scarabeo, but they shuffle wonderfully. Okay. Also new to me. A lot of new stuff this year. Trionfi is not new, but everything else is, you can tell why I'm like, I need to show you guys some new stuff I got. Tarot Mucha. Another one where I was like, colors, the palette feels really autumnal to me, but without the deck being in that traditional Halloween vibe. So it's another Lo Scarabeo, so kind of simple book. But if you like kind of an orangey Autumnal palette with some more classical, was it Art Deco artwork. Works good for that. Oops. Also the backs are just gorgeous. They're non-reversible, which is a little bit of a shame, but it's all right. Don't bug me that much. It doesn't stop me. It don't bug me that much. So yeah, trying to just make sure these focus for you. I won't know until I truly go to edit this video, but I'm trying to get there. It looks focused to me, so. But yeah, it's a nice kind of RWS clone with a little bit of flavor, as they say. And I think it's a great addition for this time of year. I am very much looking forward to using it. I think especially if, you know, you have clients that are maybe a little scared of tarot and like the darker occult symbolism, this is a great deck to break in someone on their first reading. Yeah, you can tell I have been using this one. So she's all mixed up. But I saw a lot of people kind of fall in love and then fall out of love with this deck. So I'm kind of nervous that it'll do the same for me. That people were drawn to it in the beginning, and then as they went on their tarot journeys, they've moved on from it. But I do just think I love me some classic art themes. So I have some decks like that to kind of balance things out. So yeah, I think this one is easy to find. I think a lot of people have shown it off, so I don't have to go too deep into it. But yeah, Tarot Mucha. It's the art of, oh no, my brain. Artwork by Julia Masaglia and Barbara Nacenzo. I was always under the impression that Mucha was the name of the artist these are inspired by. Yeah, Alphonse Mucha. I hope I'm saying that right. The Spanish in me wants to say Mucha, but that sounds wrong when I'm like, it's Italian. I'm pretty sure. So, the little Cuban in me wants to say Mucha, but I feel like that's just wrong. So, if I pronounce any of these names wrong, feel free to correct me. I'm happy to be corrected and say them correctly after that. So, some people don't like being corrected, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I want to know. So, all right, I think we got one more, well, two more like newish decks, and then we're gonna get into a couple old favorites. So this, I was late on these, and it was just because again, last year I think I had so much coming out that I didn't, and Oracle is usually low on my list. I do use Oracle, but not even half as much as my tarot. But I had to get Seasons of the Witch, Samhain, Oracle. And actually, I got this one and the Beltane Oracles at the same time. I haven't gotten Yule because Yule is not usually a holiday I'm super into. But I'll probably get it eventually to round out the collection. I feel like I'm now eventually going to get all of these. But I think this goes really well with a lot of my Halloween tarot. It's a nice little complement to those. Or just to use for myself throughout the month on my personal altar. Which I might do. We'll see. Yeah. It's kind of a loose art style. Reminds me of like colored pencil or something. But I'm not opposed to that. I think they did a great job. The artist is Giada Rose, the illustrator. So I don't know if she does all of the decks. I have to look at my Beltane one, but I really like the style for this, like the loose kind of ethereal vibes this has. So yeah. Seasons of the Witch. Highly recommend. Again, I feel like I would use this more for almost in my personal work because I feel like the themes and concepts for each card are pretty in depth for just a quick divination reading. But maybe if you're pulling like a card for the overall theme of a reading, it might be really good for that. Or your daily draws for yourself. I think this is a wonderful, wonderful deck for that. Okay. So this one is new-ish. I've had it for a little while longer than some of the other ones, but it's Ghosts and Spirits, right? Yeah, Ghosts and Spirits Tarot by Lisa Hunt. Just in a tuck box. And honestly, as much as I don't like tuck boxes, I'd rather have a tuck box than a paper tray. Just saying. Just saying. Simple US Games book. I think I find them better than the Lo Scarabeo books, but you know, they do have more information because they don't have to share the space with multiple languages. And I'm throwing cards again. That's what I do now. I think that was it. That's what I do now. This was just like an art card that comes with the deck. It wasn't anything we needed. Hopefully that didn't cut off. If I'm missing some in the middle, I'll have to fix that. But I think we cut off because I forgot to put us on airplane mode. So I had to do that because otherwise I'm getting texts and updates and distractions. So yeah, Lisa Hunt's Ghosts and Spirits Tarot. This is another one. This kind of reminds me of my love for the Shadowscapes Tarot with how in-depth a lot of this artwork and detailed it is. I'm sorry, here's the backs. Spooky ghosts. It's beautiful, but I'm just like, can I get bigger cards? When the artwork is this nice and this in-depth, I want them all bigger. Like, I need Oracle size for these kind of decks. There's so much to look at, so much. And this is like, as much as I do love the other decks and there's a lot of fun stuff going on, I think if I had to recommend one, it's probably this one for the whole season. If I had to pick just one to use for the whole season, it's probably this one. It has everything you could want, and I just love the artwork style. Again, it kind of reminds me of that Seasons of the Witch, kind of like loose, you know, colored pencil or something style, chalky style, even pastels maybe. Really cool. Lots to look at, get lost, drawn in, whether you're doing small readings, big readings. I think the cards all work well. Obviously the color palette is perfect. The cool tone throughout. Just really cool. Skip through a little bit. Just beautiful. Highly recommend it. Lots to pull off of, lots to intuitively hit from, you know, takes all the right symbolism. I mean, maybe not every bit, but like what that symbolism would refer to is often referred to in this in another way. So I feel like I'm not missing anything when I work with this one. This is definitely one, ooh, my stomach's talking. I'm hungry. This is definitely one of those that, like, it may be a little intense to use year round, but as soon as the season hits, I'm bringing it out. So, yeah, I love it. There's only one other deck that we'll talk about at the end of this video that I think everyone's gonna have in all of their videos for this time of year. That is also kind of like the greatest for the season, but this too, if you want an alternative. So, yeah. I could just show you everything about this deck forever. Putting the cards down, but I'm putting them all facing different directions. I kind of like the aged paper like edges, so they're not so stark white. Usually I don't care for borders like this, but I think everything about this deck works perfectly. It feels like an old deck that you found and hidden underneath a floorboard in someone's house. All right. And I'm going to do a quick little Oracle again that I think goes well with a lot of those decks, especially Ghosts and Spirits. The Earthbound Oracle. I know skullgarden.net is usually who sells this. It's an independent creator. Usually they have them available. I haven't checked maybe in the last 6 months, but usually they have them. And it's just a little like a wood painting style, and it's pretty simple, but they'll have little cards that get a little darker. Are you gonna focus? Hopefully it's not too blurry. Yeah. Just enough to like pull out elements of some of the other cards and to be like a little I don't know, it's just there's a lot that's just slightly jarring, unsettling, I guess, in this. Let's see if I can find some more that are just kind of good for this. See, maybe my face isn't there. I got some, just a compliment. It's not super spooky, just a nice compliment for the other decks, I think. If you want an oracle that just kind of does, let's see, does things, you know, with these two. Just a little hint. Just a little hint. There's a tarot they did that also matches this like wood painting style, painted wood style. I don't have it though. I don't know why when I was first getting into tarot it was very popular, and then I kind of haven't heard people talk about it that much anymore. And again, sometimes when I see that happen with decks, I get a little nervous that they don't hold up, but I think this little oracle is just wonderful, and it works with so many decks. It's really a year-round workhorse oracle for me, but I think especially this time of year, all the little creepy, oddity kind of elements of it really shine. Okay, so I'm gonna save these two for last. I'm gonna save those for last, but this one is the Corrupted Tarot. This was a Kickstarter by Wormwood, who does like a lot of gaming, woodworking stuff, style things, tables, dice trays. You know, they're just more known for like their woodworking, but they always do some kind of cool Halloween Kickstarter. This was last year's. I don't know what they're doing this year. If they're not doing a Halloween one this year or not. Was thinking about it. I'm like, I don't remember hearing about it. But this is basically a shadow tarot that it talks about all the shadowy aspects of all the cards. You know, it's a collaboration deck by a lot of I don't know if I would say popular, but definitely kind of trendy artist, especially like through Twitter and stuff, where I've seemed to find them mostly. But it's got a lot of nice stuff for Halloween. And again, it's got a bunch of different art styles. So you can find like whatever you're into. I just find all of the quality of art in this deck is up there. All the artists really worked hard and gave really nice cards. So I just find I did a review of this when I got it earlier this year, I think. And I will say the card quality is not good. I'm worried if I use this all the time, it would just start shredding. It can't handle being shuffled too much. It does have a nice silver gilding, but you can see it's already started cracking, just, you know, chipping from very light wear and tear. These are the backs, they're very pretty. So yeah, it's one of those decks that it's not built for being used too often. So I try to just break it out this time of year where it's the most relevant for me. I did a full flip through of it when I first got it, so I'll link that probably in the cards, you know, up at the top somewhere. I don't know if this is reversed or not. I want to think it's over here, but it might be over there. You know what I mean. But yeah, it's an awesome deck as far as just owning the artwork of so many talented artists. And if you're a Wormwood person, obviously supporting them. So it's a beautiful deck. I just wish the quality of the printing was a little nicer. I do know, like, the last couple years, getting that stuff done is really hard for people having them printed overseas. The pandemic and just kind of like the crisis ongoing around the world lately has just made things really hard. It's hard everywhere, and it's really upsetting. So try not to talk about too much, but yeah, Corrupted Tarot. So love the artwork, absolutely adore the artwork for this time of year. And that's that like spot gloss. See if I can get it to like reflect a little bit for you guys. And there you go. So the box is okay too. You can like really see where the glue and everything comes together. The paper's glued on. The packaging, not great. The artwork, mwah, beautiful. Okay, so one of my all-time Halloween favorites is the Raven's Prophecy. I'm now officially halfway through with the book series, so I finally started reading it. I'm really loving it too. Ronan, please let nothing bad happen to Ronan. I love him so much, my little angry baby. So I'm just like, really happy to use this now that I know like what the author and creator based it on. So if you haven't read the Raven Cycle series books, you should. So this deck is based off of her books. Maggie Stiefvater wrote the books and then created this tarot deck. I guess if you don't know anything about the book, I will give you a little tip that the main character lives in a house full of psychics and tarot readers, and all kinds of crazy things ensue when she starts talking to some boys. But yeah, Blue is from a family of psychics, so if you know, the story will definitely be up your alley if you haven't read the books already. Even though I think it's YA, I think it's for young adults, it's still really cute and really funny. I've laughed out loud multiple times reading the book series. Yeah, and it's kind of this like fiery orange, rainbow colored, I don't know, but it's very fiery. It gives me, you know, autumn bonfire vibes. You know, I know the orange borders are a lot. They're not for everybody, and if you don't like them, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad about it. You could almost trim this deck and make it into a mini, basically. But you would have to write those titles because I don't feel like the artwork really tells you much about what the card is. Unless you're really good at memorization. I'm not. So they stay there for me, and I've grown to love them over time as a border hater that I am. But I just love the rainbow fire-based elements of this deck. So also, if you're a fire sign or you just love fiery decks, if you're a bit of a pyro, this is for you. But it's another one that it's like, it's dark and again, autumnal for me without being like super scary to scare off a client or people who aren't really into that kind of thing. So pretty. So pretty. But yeah, and it's kind of got just like this beautiful rainbow goodness to it. And it's very unique to me in my collection. I find that when I first got it, I didn't know if I was gonna like it, but now I dearly love it. I probably said that last year too. Oh well. So yeah, Raven's Prophecy Tarot, really fun, to me beautiful, but it's a lot. It's a lot with those orange borders. But read the books. Read the books. I am so glad I have started. Probably by next Halloween, I can say I've finished them all. So it'll only take a couple of years to get it done. I am a bit of a slow reader. I end up actually having to use audiobooks and listen in the car because I can't sit and read. I'm one of those, like a fidgeter. I gotta be doing something. Just holding a book and staring at it isn't enough for my body to maintain focus. I don't know if that's an ADHD thing or what. All right, so last two decks, no one's gonna be surprised, are Patrick Valenza. So the new one and then the classic will do. So the new one is the illustrated Trionfi della Luna. I bought this when he had them at pre-order on his site. Like, you know, he did no previews unless you had the original Marseille style Trionfi della Luna. And this, he illustrated the minors for this version. So I knew I loved the original Marseille Trionfi, but I knew I don't really read Marseille style. I want to love it, I study it, I want to use it, and then I go to use it and I don't like it. So it's like I have an appreciation for Marseille, but they're not practical for me to personally use that much. So I really like that he illustrated it so I could use it. And he gave like so many like alternative cards in this deck, especially for like the devil. There's so many alternatives. And I've done a walkthrough of this, comparing it to the regular Deviant Moon, so you can see both of them side by side. But it's just that great traditional Patrick Valenza art style. There's my devil that I chose for this deck. I think Judgment also had multiple other cards you could choose from. But yeah, so it's more RWS, which is a lot easier for me, a lot faster. I just tend to find myself going back to it. So I'll link the video where you can really see every single card that came with this. And I love it. And he does usually a lot of color options. As far as I know, it's still available on his site. I don't think he does like limited runs. He might do like a print of like 500 at a time and then wait to reprint it. But as far as I know, he continually prints this. Again, I haven't checked for things in like 6 months with the way my life has been. But yeah, I'm gonna do that. And then we're gonna go out with a bang with the classic Deviant Moon Tarot. It is the reason for the season. I'm just kidding, but really, it's one of those decks that I feel like a lot of people get put off of it in the beginning, and then you work with it, and it totally wins you over. So, I have the Borderless edition. Ooh, I'm so hungry. My tummy is growling. So glad this is the last deck. All right, so yeah, this is just that classic Deviant Moon, dark, industrial, like city, underworld deck. Like a lot of people I think don't think they're going to be attracted to this aesthetic, but I promise you, working with it, it reads so well. So well. And I just love that I love a deck that takes me into its own world. Like there are characters that live in this world that makes sense. And there's just, every time I think I've seen everything in the card, I see something else. Like there's really a lot of thought and in-depth artwork put into this. And I'm sorry that my family is very loud and you can hear them doing something in the hallway. We're almost done, so just a few more minutes. Family, what can you do? So yeah, I think everybody's seen this deck. It's not anything new, but it is wonderful, and I love using it this time of year. Please do in the comments tell me what your favorite October, autumnal, Halloween spooky decks, Samhain related decks are. I'm always like looking to expand the collection and I'm just curious what decks other people like, where, you know, what am I not being exposed to? So yeah, I hope you guys are having a great season. I hope to see you guys. I'm trying to post at least once a month, doing my best. So I miss you guys. I hope you're having a great day. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you're using this time of year. See you soon. Bye.